this is Rex. In today's tip, I want to show you a little quality of life improvement that you can make for your users. On screen, I have the Processes tab open. And by default, the information that will be displayed isn't always that useful in regards to being able to pick and choose which task you need to work on first. In this case, I've got a process ID, a task ID. I do have the task name, status, when it was created, that it's active. Well, I already know some of that information because it is here in my list. The task IDs, those really are not that useful to me. So let's make the columns more useful and the presentation a little more user-friendly. To do that, go into Process Manager. Select the process that you want to modify. Go to the process listing. Now you will see multiple tabs up here. One is the initiator assignment. That's just who can start the workflow process. The process listing and the inbox are the two that we want to take a look at. Process listing allows us to choose which data we show here on the Processes tab. So let's add in some pieces of information that are going to be a little more useful to our users. Click the Add icon on the far right, and then you can choose which columns or which fields you want to display. You have a selection of fields here that are used on your forms in your process. One that may be important for a PTO request is simply who is the employee that's making the request. You can set the order in which this is displayed. Is it the first column or the last column? The width of the column. Now this is kind of a guesstimate to start, but let's put in 20 just to get started with. And if for some reason I decided that I did not want the employee name to display, I would click the delete icon on the far right. To add another column, click the plus once again. Now you can see we have an error. The width of our column, it says, must be 50 or higher. So let's modify that. And go down to the next column. We have already selected employee name. Let's choose department next. It may be really helpful to be able to look at a large list of tasks and pick out a department and then an employee name. Let's make this one number 2. And we've already learned that our column must be at least 50, so let's go with 50. Now let's stop at this point and go ahead and click the Save icon to save our changes. And then let's go to the Processes tab and see if this has worked. Now we are back on the Processes tab, and you can see that our employee name and department pieces of data are now displaying. That's great. Imagine if I had a couple dozen tasks in here and I needed to quickly look up a task for a specific employee or for a specific department. This would allow me to filter the list by these columns. Just like with any of our grids in Symphony, you can reorder columns to put these pieces of data first. You can resize them, and then you can save your changes. These little improvements really make a big difference in the usefulness of the product. You can use the same steps in Process Manager on the Inbox tab to select which pieces of data display to your user in their inbox.